Namaste, everyone, and welcome to Anchor the Light. I hope you watched the earlier session where we talked a little bit about your ability to control your thoughts, your emotions, and your physical body. So, sorry about that. So, we mentioned earlier, we're going to share with you a mantra. And that mantra is not some Sanskrit word, it's just simply the word I am. Okay? Let me just put it up there again. So in Sanskrit, they use the word soham. I am that. To make it easier, it's something like this. I remember when I was at the Tony Robbins event, he said the most powerful force in the universe is your identity. Your identity. Sorry, let me just done. We're talking a lot. Okay, so the most powerful force in the universe to a person is their identity. So when you identify yourself as a good person, anything that happens in our life that contradicts that, you push it away. When you identify yourself as a bad person, hold on. I think I've been exerting my voice too much. Hold on. Okay, reset. Let's do this again. So the identity is super, super powerful. So when you identify yourself as a good person, anything that contradicts that, you'll push away. For example, you're doing something that is unwholesome. And you know in your mind, I'm doing this because I'm cheating someone. That's not good. Your identity will drive you crazy. To the extent you go, I don't want to do that anymore. It causes incongruence within me. The opposite is also true. If you already been brought up that, hey, I've been told by my parents that I'm not a good kid, I'm not a good person, I'm not good in school, okay? That's the identity that is in your system. Guess what happens? When something good is happening in your life, you don't feel worthy. When a relationship's working, things are doing well, you will self-sabotage. Because the I am, it's a perception of who we really are. Here's the good news. Most people, their perceptions that I am, it's false. It's not true. There you go. Well, what if I look at myself as a good person? That's not true? Hold on. You're right. It's not true. Because whatever you identify, at least most people, it's not the real I am. The perception of who we are for most people, unless you've had spiritual training, is the I am is a set of thoughts and emotions, like programming, that has been enveloping the soul, the spiritual self. So when you say, I'm a good person, I'm a bad person, I'm a father, I'm a mother, I'm smart, I'm not too smart, all of these are fabrications of the soul. Okay? Hold on, before you guys panic, because some of you go, wait, you're messing with my identity. Hold on, just listen carefully. Here, when we say identity, we really mean, who am I? Okay? Watch this. You've been with me long enough, you know this already. We've done this so many times, but it's good to be reminded. When I ask you to move your body, what are you doing? I am moving my body. What's being moved? The body. It's just like, I move my cup. What's being moved? The cup. Who's the mover? I am. Who moved the body? I did. Am I the cup? No. I move the cup. I'm the mover. The cup is what's being moved. So therefore, I'm not the cup. So therefore, I'm not the body. You go, okay, that's obvious. That's easy. Okay, let's try another one. Feel joy. What are you doing? I'm feeling joy. Feel anger. I'm feeling anger. So if this is time zero, a few seconds later, you felt joy. A few seconds later, you felt anger. So in other words, at time zero, you were not feeling these feelings. So you created those feelings after the fact. So, therefore, I'm not the emotions I create. I'm not the joy. I'm not the anger. Hear me out. And most of the time, a thought and feeling work together. But let's just separate it. Think of a house. What are you doing? I'm thinking of a house. Who's the thinker? I am. Think of a dog. What are you doing? I'm thinking of a dog. So again, let's start with time zero. After I asked you to, you thought of a house, you thought of dog. They came after. So the feeler is the I, you created the feeling. The thinker is the I created the thoughts of the house and the dog. So the I am, is not the body, not the emotions we create, not the feelings we create, not the thoughts we create. Right? Okay, so let's work on that. You say, I am a good person. When you say I am a good person, you have to define what a good person is. A good person is, these are the qualities. They do good things, they help people, blah, 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 so. These are a combination of thoughts. And you've experienced being with good people, you go, I'm with good people, it feels good. And when people say that I'm a good person, I feel good about it. So, the word good person has certain thoughts and feelings attached to it and also certain actions. But they're fabricated. I created these thoughts and feelings about a good person. Watch this. Same thing with a bad person. If somebody tells you growing up, hey, you're not a good person, you always screw up, you do bad things, blah, 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 so on, so on, so on. The manufacturing process is identical. Due to certain circumstances, the I created thoughts. Okay, a bad person is a person who cheats people, do bad things, hurt people. And I did that too. I also have bad thoughts, so therefore I'm a bad person. Sounds familiar? Or somebody keep injecting it to you. Growing up, since you didn't do good in school for one of your subjects, somebody says, oh, you're stupid, you're dumb. And what happened? Those thoughts and feelings you absorbed. So now, guess what happens? That became your identity. But you see, it's a false identity. That's my point. Either one is a false identity because you're not your thoughts, you're not your body, you're not your feelings. So what you have as an identity was actually fabricated, good or bad. Because the self, the real self, the I, is not those. You say, okay, well, that doesn't help me. Well, hear me out. So that means if somebody says you're not a good person, you're a failure, all that, you say, nope, that's not the I. You say, well, how about a good person? That's not the I either. So what am I? Now we're getting to the deeper question. So when I'm not the body, not the emotion, not the thoughts, what am I? Who am I? I am the spiritual self that uses the body, uses the emotions, uses the thoughts to interact with the world. Okay, I haven't done this for a long time, so hopefully this will help you. Just imagine, you can do something, right? Imagine that my physical body is made of pure energy. That's the soul, the I. In order to interact with the world, the physical world, physically, emotionally, mentally, I put a portion of this pure energy and light into a container. So I put a portion of myself made of pure energy into a physical body that loves cookies, that feels such intense desire for cookies, and thinks about how to get more. Get this? So the soul, made of pure energy, puts a portion of itself into a physical, emotional, mental instrument. So it can eat cookie, desire cookie, and think about it all day long. I am not this body that loves cookies, that eats cookies all day long, desires and, lust after cookies, and meditates and thinks of cookies all day long. The soul is not the body, the emotions and the thoughts. Get this? So most people, their identity is this. Most people's identities are false identities. That's why without getting on the spiritual path, realizing who you really are, good luck. This identity will run your life. If you happen to be blessed and lucky enough that you grow up in a good family, you have good teachers, you have good upbringing, positive circumstances that made you have this persona of a good person, lucky you. If you happen to be otherwise, not so lucky you. However, Lord Buddha said everything is subject to change. So even though everything is great and wonderful, it's not going to always be like that. Circumstances change. There's a law of change, there's a law of cycles. So even when your identity, you think it's good, when things don't go your way, it could change your identity if you don't respond to it properly. Same thing with being a so-called negative person. When things are good, it could also change you, or you can revert to that identity. You seeing this? So, what is the lesson today? It's quite simple. We first temporarily strip away this. Because what's left is the I am. Make sense? When you say I'm not the body, you're saying I'm not the physical form. I'm using the physical form. Okay? I'm not the physical body. When you say I'm not the emotions, that means any emotion I have, positive or negative, it's not the I. I created it. Make sense? Hold on. Some of you panic, but I'm a loving person. Hold on. See, that's exactly the problem. You're getting emotional. In other words, your identity is tied to a false identity. Hear me out. So I'm not in my emotions, positive or negative. I'm not in my thoughts, good or bad thoughts. These are not the I. I created them. This allows you to pull yourself out of those programming. Make sense? Okay, let's go back to the original lesson. To make it easier that, that you manufacture this. I showed with you in the earlier lesson, that's why you made sure to watch it. I'm a musician with 3 instruments. A piano, a trumpet, and a guitar. I hit the piano keys, I produce certain sound. I use a trumpet to blow air, it produces sound. I use my fingers, move the strings, I produce music in the guitar. I'm not the piano, I'm not the trumpet, I'm not the guitar. Well, if I'm not the instrument, well, definitely I'm not the sound produced by the piano, I'm not the sound produced by the trumpet, I'm not the sound produced by the guitar. Make sense? So right then, the question is, who am I and what am I? Well, who am I? I'm the person or the entity, being, whatever you want to use, that used the piano, the trumpet, and the guitar. Who am I? I'm the one using these. What am I? Well, I sure am not these, so what am I? I'm the one, going back to the same one, I'm the one that is the user of these instruments. In a similar manner, I, the soul, the spiritual self, put a portion of my energy into an instrument called the physical body, the emotional, mental body, physical, emotional, mental bodies, to manipulate these to function in the world. So this is my persona. Make sense? Now, that said, that's why in Theosophy, it's called the personality. The personality is used to be able to function in the earthly life. So, okay, how does that help me today? That means whatever your perception of yourself, good or bad, can be released. And then from there, you realize I am the spiritual self. And based on the circumstances around me, the situation around me, I will choose to create these thoughts, these feelings, and these actions. Now, if most of the thoughts, feelings, and actions I do are good, are wholesome, then I am projecting that I am a good person. I am a good person that does good things. Do you realize what you just learned? That means whatever identity people slapped onto you, you don't have to take it. Because your true identity is you are the spiritual self having this earthly experience. That's it. That's your true identity. So when you say, I am that, you're what? I am that spiritual being that moves the body, creates the feelings, creates the thoughts. I am that. I am that spiritual being. That am I. So let's try it. Okay, close your eyes. Let's make this practical. Okay, close your eyes. Now I want you to observe whatever your physical body is experiencing. Is it comfortable, not comfortable, painful, not painful, neutral, whatever? Okay, just observe it. Now I want you to observe any feelings that you have and thoughts. What happened to you today? Somebody made you upset, somebody made you happy. What kind of thoughts, what projects were you thinking of today? What were you, what emails did you write? What went through your mental processes? Whatever. I want you to just observe what your physical body did today, what kind of emotions you created, what kind of thoughts you created. I want you to just observe it. Just observe. Pull yourself out of any thoughts, feelings, and actions and just watch. You're just like you're watching someone else's life. Observe your physical body. Observe any feelings and thoughts. Just observe. Just be still and just be the witness or the watcher. And ask this very simple question: who is observing the body? Who is observing the feelings? Who is observing the thoughts? Now, for the thoughts and the feelings, it's just like you're outside looking at the sky, looking at the clouds. Those clouds are your thoughts and emotions. You're not the clouds. So, with your eyes still closed, observe any sensations in your body, any feelings, any thoughts. Just watch them. And ask the question: who is observing this phenomena? The answer will be, I am. Now I want you to gently be still. Be aware of this I am. Meditate on that I am. Be still. Most of you experiencing stillness and peace. Simultaneously, you observing this. Silently affirm, I am that observer. I am that I am. I am that. Meaning you affirming you are the observer, the creator of the actions, the feelings, and thoughts. You're the musician using these instruments to produce sound. I am that, the mover of the body, the feeler of the feelings, thinker of the thoughts. I am that. That's who I am. That's the real I. That is my true identity. Be still. I am that being of light. It's pure energy with consciousness. I am that. That am I. I am that I am. Just be still and meditate on your true self. What do you do? Absolutely nothing. You're not your body, you're not your emotion, you're not your thoughts. You are the soul, your spiritual self, a being of pure energy and light, a spiritual being of divine intelligence to choose what thoughts you create, a spiritual being of divine love to choose what emotions you create, a spiritual being of divine power to choose how you move your physical body and how to create any thoughts and emotions. That is your true essence. Meditate on your true essence, your true identity. Be still. I am that I am. I am the soul, the spiritual self. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am that. Just keep repeating it. I am that. That's the real I. I am that. I am that. I am the soul. I am that. Just listen. We'll increase the frequency. So so means I am that. So that I am is one with the universal I am. So so just allow your consciousness to rise above your head, like opening the bottle of a beautiful smelling perfume. Let your spiritual essence, your true nature, merge with the universal essence. I am that I am. Be still and let go and experience your true self. The I am in me is one with the I am in all. There's only oneness. Let go. Gently, very gently and slowly. Move your fingers, move your toes. These are the furthest from your crown. So when you move them, it allows you, the soul, to come back into your body. Okay? Slowly open your eyes. How do you feel? Do most of you notice it's very quiet and still? So as you do this very, very simple identification of who you are, it's more difficult for people to trigger you. Because in order to trigger you, here's what triggering means. They say something, they do something, you are so in control of your thoughts, your body, and your emotions. You say, this person is trying to make me angry. I choose not to. Because the ability to choose is simply affirming, I choose to create or not create certain feelings, thoughts, or actions. That's that. It's that simple. And regardless of your religion and your culture, this teaching works. That's that. Religion is just a packaging to help you experience your true self. When you quiet the room, when you close your eyes, when you chant, you pray, you do all these different things, is to raise your frequency so that you have some time, maybe a minute or two, depends on what kind of practice you do, to experience what it's like to be free of the influence of your body, your emotions, and thoughts. So when you're meditating or in deep prayer, that's what you did. You temporarily go, what's left is the real I. That's it. So I hope you learned something. Watch this again. Watch the earlier session. I apologize for the coughing session earlier. It was just talking so much. But we'll see you on Wednesday. Okay. Namaste, everyone. You all take care. God bless. And share this with as many people as you can. Thank you for allowing me to serve all of you. Bye-bye.